Remove this nut using your 7/16 wrench from the fuel line that goes into the bulkhead connector. Slide that to your 9/16, loosen the bulkhead retainer nut. Slide that on the tube so it doesn't drop down into your air band. A lot of times we'll slide a rag in here so in case you do drop something, it won't fall. Once your bulkhead retaining nut is off, secured, there's a 5/16 head hex. Pull it back towards the bulkhead, a little bit to the right and up, and just gently slide it out. To remove the nozzle, you need a 5/8 inch wrench for the nozzle itself, 3/4 inch wrench on the nozzle adapter. Slide that wrench in there, careful not to contact or crack your electrodes. Your other wrench, put on the nozzle. I use the hand squeeze method. That way your hands can't slip and you won't break your electrode ceramics. Remove the nozzle. So observe the size of the nozzle that you're using. This one right here is a 150/80. You should always be using 80-degree monarch nozzles. If you're just doing this for maintenance because your nozzle's not firing right, stick with the same size. If you're not getting enough heat out of the unit, you want to go up a size in your nozzles. Every unit has a nozzle kit with it. If your machine's tripping out too much and you can't get it to stop, you want to go down a size in your nozzles. When you go to reinstall your nozzle, put it back in here. Then you want to hold the nozzle adapter with a 3/4. Put your wrench on the nozzle, and then you just again use the squeeze method. Don't use two hands, you can slip and you'll crack these ceramics. These ceramics have to be inspected. If there's cracks in here, you're going to bleed electricity and your burner's not going to fire right. They must be solid. Once your nozzle's installed, we need to make sure that your electrodes are in the correct positions. The correct position, round figures, is 1/8 of an inch above the front of the nozzle here, 1/8 inch apart between the electrodes here, and 5/16 to a 1/2 inch from the center of the nozzle up, right here. And up the long line on the center, and your electrode should fall right into that corner there. And you just pivot it over, your other electrode should fall into that corner. Then you're going to take the two short lines, and that's going to tell you that you're about 1/8 of an inch apart, the correct distance. Yeah. When you go to put your gun unit back in, you want to notice there's a little spring here. That keeps your gun unit from rattling around. Slide in there careful. Any resistance you may feel, stop, back it back out, and reposition it. You don't want to knock those electrodes out of adjustment. Alright? Get your gun unit in. You're going to slide it right down that back wall. Okay? Right down that back wall. And then you're going to come out through the hole in your gun unit adjustment plate on the other side. Once your gun unit is in, and you didn't bind it up in any way or force it in, if you do, you have to pull it back out and recheck your electrodes. Now, I'm going to slide that bulkhead connecting through the hole in your gun adjustment plate right to here. If you haven't put a towel down yet, now's a good time. That'll stop if you drop this nut, it won't go down inside the burner. Spin that on there, hand tight. Make sure your gun unit's all the way forward and square. Just take that with the finger tight. Then, you're going to take your 7/16 nut, slide it up on there, and get that hand tight. Now we have to adjust how far in and out of the burner combustion chamber that the nozzle and electrodes are set. You do that by looking at the yellow. Alright, it's critical that the end of this gun unit adjustment plate lines up with the tip of this arrow on the yellow sticker. So you have everything hand tight here, just bring it in, get that right up on the tip of the arrow, bring that up to the side, take your 9/16 wrench, you're going to tighten that up just finger tight. Next, take your flare nut, always start them hand tight, take your 7/16 wrench, you're going to snug that up. Your gun nozzle change, your nozzle change is complete.